Welcome back to the Retro Sports Gamer channel. It's time to continue the season with Ken Griffey Jr.'s winning run. Got the season going through here. We're going to continue it. My team is the best in the AL right now. We're going to take a look. Seattle Mariners 13-5. Tearing it up, but I got a tough division. Those other divisions are looking real trashy, but not the AL West. So, got to keep winning games. Marlins look like they have the best percentage in the league. I'm going to keep playing and keep winning. And, it's baseball season. My nostalgia tells me it's time to play some baseball. So I'll keep doing it retro style. And not paying too much attention to what's going on in current day MLB. Although I will admit, when I do glance at the TVs at the places I'm at, the bar in my local neighborhood, it looks like the most normal sports telecast going right now, as far as what I can see. So let me know if you're here watching the stream. My phone's dead here. Can't really check if it's going live or not. What's up, Adam? Alright, looks like we're good. Let's play some ball. See who we're up against. Smoked the Brewers in the last game. They're not too good in this game. Brewers were pretty brutal in the 90s. And the team resembles that in this game. They're pretty much talent-wise like they were in 1996 or so when this game came out. And we're getting into August here. A lot of simulated games. Looks like it's behind schedule. Drinking a little New Glarus Spotted Cow. I don't have too many beers at home anymore. The only time I've really been drinking them is if I do go on a stream. They're good to have around the house for that. Minnesota Twins. So let's update that. So Adam asks, why Texas and Oklahoma trying to join SEC? Oh, in college? I don't know what's going on with that. What's up, Bradford? I haven't followed that too much. I don't know why they would be doing that. It's hard to say. Current sports world, I'm tuning out. I mean, I still hear things from the grapevine, like the Cleveland Indians are now going to be the Cleveland Guardians. So if you have any commentary on that, let me know. I'm not really sure what that's about. We got Jet Salisbury up first. Kind of the Twins. They also kind of sucked in the 90s. So this should be a game I should win, but you still got to play the games. That's why we play them. Easy liner. So I thought about playing another game tonight, but I figure when I have time to stream, what's up, Filippo? Should keep cranking out this season until I finish it. It's only a 26 gamer. I'm averaging about 2 games every time I get on here. And what? We got 10 more games left. It's a goal to finish at least a short season of this game, Because like I said, my friend Dano down the block, that he had this game. We played it quite a bit. Let me borrow it before, started some seasons, never finished. So that's what I'm doing here. Too fast, not going to throw him out from the outfield. But that is doable in this game with a slow runner. And we get out of it pretty easily. Their situation's still pretty brutal, you know, having small parts of land where they're pretty much running casinos. I've said what my theory is on that before. It's not that they were ever offended to have team names named after them. It's really they just want to remove them from history. Indians, Redskins. People don't even really pay mind to that. Oh boy, Telegram, I gotta quit that or else me dinging all night. Oh, and base running. Didn't get it going. Griff with the easy pop fly to center field. I think the NFL players are being blackballed. You know, it should be freedom of choice when it comes to medical procedure. They're really trying to force their hand, saying that they're going to get forfeits with tests if they're not taking a big V shot, getting less pay. That's some ultimate BS. But this is what the medical mafia does. I hear the White Sox are doing pretty good. I haven't been watching it all. They were bad for over a decade. So I tuned out even before lockdown time. Oh, look at that range there. But I won't be watching the NFL just like last season. Watched the first game. The broadcast was atrocious. And probably will never be going back. I do like the sport of football, so if anyone tries to come back with another league, even if it's not televised, maybe just internet stream, like I'd rather watch that at this point. XFL was interesting the month or two it was back. I was kind of enjoying that. But everything as we know it went haywire. And XFL didn't stand tall and keep the games going. White Sox were good ever since I remember. When I was younger, early 90s to about 2008. They had good teams. Like they really did. They only won one World Series. The one in 2005. But a lot of people say if they didn't have the strike in the 90s, that was the White Sox. They were like the favorite. And I remember going to some games that year. Slam ball? Was that one of those things on Spike TV? Man, the runner's running smart because it's 2 outs. Stan Milton, 4-12. Athletics are a great thing to engage in, especially if you're playing. Even at a not so competitive level, just to get the exercise. When I went to Lake Geneva a month ago or so, I was shooting hoops every day, and I haven't at the court they had there, and I'm not used to it, and I was getting sore just from shooting, so you could see, like, you get a workout just playing basketball or whatever the sport is, and your body gets a little workout. That's what I really been missing this last year, is to play some pickup basketball. Softball, haven't played this year for the first time in like 17 years. So that's a bummer. So Pat's here. So anyone who watches leagues that openly hate them and campaign to remove their rights has no self-respect. Yeah, terrain theory instead of germ theory. This is something I've been learning about the last month or so. What's up, Dwayne? How's it going? Is it $5? I mean, I wouldn't doubt it. They've always had cheap ticket prices, especially through the Robin Ventura not being good era. I'm disgusted. Need to unwind. Yeah, I mean, at this point, I've been disgusted for a long time with everything going on and being forced. And all right, let's see if I can get a hit with Griffey. But at the end of the day, they threw home. You got to move on. Start creating your own system. Use your own ideas to create the life you want, and you'll be good. I mean, especially here in the U.S., like, everything that they're asking you to do is by consent. You don't have to do any of it. Oh, he got him out at second, but at least got on the board. And it will get more aggressive. The Rockefeller Operation Lockstep is a 5-year plan, so just get yourself mentally prepared. It's a big city. That's why it's got 2 baseball teams. Generally speaking, I mean, there's probably more behind it than that. But, New York has 2 baseball teams. California has a bunch of baseball teams as a state. Chicago, I think it's up there in the top 3 as far as population in the U.S. So, it's one of those leagues where they got 2 teams. The Chicagoland area is massive. If they put out a 3rd team in the suburbs or like another team in the NBA, like, they would have a lot of fans. It can definitely host a 2nd team in the other leagues. But then again, you don't even know if they're going to let fans in, so what's the point? It might be too scary for them. Breathing air is a tough decision these days. So, might as well just keep it with the Bulls and the Bears. And the Blackhawks. And the 2 baseball teams that play outside. Here he is, Mac Almighty. Ooh, sliced it foul. the Chicago used to have two football teams. One was called the Chicago Cardinals, which, as you know, has made their way out to Arizona, but they once played in Chicago. What's up, Troy? Yeah, we talked about that earlier. My take on it is they just don't want Indians to exist too much in history since they've already pushed them aside. They're not really going to be teaching that too much in the indoctrination camps. They weren't really offended by it too much, you know. A lot of them thought it was an honor, but I'd rather not, like, even don't research what Indians or Redskins are. Forget about that. The Guardians name, I don't really know what that's about. I won't speak too much about it. It seems pretty generic to me. But there's a lot of other team names in sports just named after certain type of people. So it's not really offensive that, you know, you'd have team names after Indian tribes. I was thinking, like, what, NFL-wise, like the Patriots are a type of person. The Buccaneers are a type of pirate. The Raiders are a type of renegade pirate or something. So it's not like they don't name teams after people. It's just, oh man, got me with that change up. Braves. Yeah, and that's more of a generic name. But I could see him going as far to changing that one. Do I think it will change? I could see it. I mean, everything's so wild, you know. Words are scary to people. What's happened in history, it's really all up in the air. I mean, things change by the day now. Especially in the Great Reset, you know. Before, when things were stagnant and steady, there wasn't too many agendas going on. But now that you got the Great Reset in full force, things are going to be a little seesawish. The senators' names because it pissed off all the politicians. Double play. Hey, and that might have been at a time where people actually still had some respect for senators, but these days they're all in on one agenda. Definitely, Pat. I mean, throughout the history, even the 90s of watching sports, I always felt like I was just watching a sports game. Whether it was fixed or not, they did not put any other BS, for the most part. Big home run by Griffey into the telecast. But now they're just used for a propaganda tool. Medically, politically, and that's why I don't watch the major sports leagues anymore. But growing up playing these games, it was not like that. Whether the players knew what pitch was coming, like the Astros did when they won the World Series by cheating with webcams and hitting garbage cans, I don't know. But it was entertainment, and it was fun, and it was free and open. And at the time, you thought you were investing in a great creation. But not anymore. Yeah. Well, the thing is, you can't invest. You got to change where you invest your time, your money. Like, if you see these major changes and you still stick with it, then that's on you. There's a time and a place to know when to get out. You know, it's kind of like being in the sauna. Feeling good, you're sweating, you're in there for a purpose. And then some dude from the gym just brings in some random water bottle with some GMO chemical stuff that he says is good, and he just keeps pouring it on there. And it's smelling, it's getting hotter, it's getting steamier, he keeps doing it. And you just got to know when to get out. So use your intuition. There you go, James Bond back. Braves wouldn't bend the knee. You know, the stuff that they're pushing these days makes no sense to a logical person. If you want to go along with it and support it, that's fine, but nothing that's really happening is supported by any logic. Definitely, if you can't see what is going on after 2020, then you're just a lost cause. I mean, some people will turn around, but most just don't want to face certain realities, questions not being asked, not being researched. Yeah, 90s were good times. No, this guy's getting home. Big arm, but not enough. I don't know why he came home. Yeah, yogurt and honey. That's an interesting combo I haven't tried before. Yeah, I mean, we got to live through some good, peaceful periods of time in history. And things are changing rapidly. It's a lot of mental divide. The 90s was your favorite. Mine too, I mean, but I was also a child in the 90s, so that had something to do with it. But you don't sense the tension and, human slavery attempts like you do these days. Just muzzle up the kids in school. It's no problem. American Academy of Pediatrics says over 2-year-olds should go back to school this fall wearing masks. It's just breathing's not too important. Seeing kids' faces socially, psychologically developing, not too much of a big deal anymore. It was plain, but my favorite is vanilla. I could say, just like observing what I was taught about politics in the U.S., like I really didn't see too much, and I was still really young. I didn't see too much of a red flag with Bill Clinton as I did with George W., like Bush. I'm like, this is the best you can give us. And then, the 9/11 spectacular happened. And that really changed the course of history in this country. Not as rapid as right now during the COVID era, but yeah, and I'm starting to change my mind about this middle class thing. Like, sure, it's something that people have had and have strived for and wanted to maintain. But honestly, you don't need all this material BS. I mean, you could do so much with so much less. I'm thankful for, some of the retro games and stuff I have, but Honestly, looking at it, I could do mostly without it. Need to get back outside, sweating, get some sunlight. Challenge myself, getting some more exercise. So those are some of the things I want to work on going into this next year, starting now. '90s were fun. They were radical, they were tubular, they were cowabunga-ish. I wouldn't trade it back for anything. Troy's saying, what do you need? I need a Tesla connected iPad to my iWatch while Snapchatting my friends on my iPhone while it's Starbucks. It's almost third world around here. Yeah, I mean, this is a little over the top, you know? The tech has definitely benefited us. What I'm doing now wouldn't be possible without the tech, but at the same time, the double-edged sword is what is gonna get us in the end. The over-obsession with the technology. Yeah, I know. I know what you're saying, Pat. City life is very toxic. I mean, didn't fully understand it, and I'm understanding it even more now. But yeah, it's just the more you're in the city, the more you get harassed. You know, you can't park your car in front of the house. They'll give you a ticket for your city sticker. You can't drive down the road 37 miles per hour when it's in a 35 because they'll give you a speed ticket and send it in the mail. Which I'm not paying any of those anymore, but you know what I'm saying. The closer you're into people, the more you're going to be harassed by other people. So you definitely want to be in rural country areas. I think that would benefit most people mentally. And 2001 was, planned and scripted to change a lot of things, and it did. But the tentacles of what is happening in 2020 worldwide is just disgusting. You're really seeing how much reach is possible and how much coordination can happen with everything going on. Man, I got a lot of those situations. Yeah, I mean, so the burbs are pretty good. The one good thing about the city, I would say, is the police have a lot of experience dealing with actual problems. So they're not trying to deal with people who aren't really making problems, violent problems. So because of their experience, they have a lot more common sense, and they're not going to harass you for stupid stuff. That's one of the benefits of being in the city of Chicago. They're trying to maintain a peaceful city, and they're not trying to harass the people working or the people living here like they do in the suburbs. Yeah, I mean, that's a good thing, Adam. Go back to the time where you were feeling good and the music's in that era. Bring you back. My wife told me Fat JB Pritzker's warning about going back phases for COVID. So I sent her the Fat Boy song from the 90s. Maximilian, look that one up. That might ring a bell for you. What? A guy was describing the explosion and a guy in an FBI jacket took him. Australia is a mess right now. They're in massive lockdowns and have been, especially in Sydney. If you're not watching world news now to see how they're coordinating and just testing it out, let's see what these people will deal with. But yeah, Australia's been a mess. 84-year-old. So I had a question. Oh, this guy's tired. What do you think is the best retro system to get into? Just gameplay wise, game library wise, and also cost. And I'll give you what I think my answer is. You let me know what yours is. Someone at my local McDonald's tried to suicide a cop. That's not a good situation. There's a guy at a gas station to tell you a life story. I mean, people just want to be heard. They want to tell their story, but they don't have the people to connect with, you know? Go with Kevin Cobalt. Well, definitely the economy is a factor in Convid. But there's so many other things they're pushing right now that it's just one of them. Alright, well, I didn't change them. Because the same guy's still in. Let me get the best guy in here. Play some ball. So we got Sega Genesis by Troy. Bradford says Sega Genesis. Nintendo carries that Nintendo tax. No, I'm talking about retro, Dwayne. Not the new ones. I think once you got the Xbox 360, PS3, that was a big out to keep it tied. Cheapmunk Gorilla says NES. Adam likes SNES, PS2. Oh, horrible at bat. Genesis just literally has every genre covered. It's kind of weak in the RPG department, but it has some really strong titles. And not everyone's into RPGs either. Bottom of the 8th, Minnesota tied up. Big hit. Get the second. Oh my goodness, it's embarrassing the base running on this. Yeah, 360 PS3 graphical leap is amazing. Sega Genesis had blast processing. So, what I was thinking about... Oh, Griffey, this is huge at bat. 2 outs. Let me get this first. Ooh, I don't know. That was a little inside there. Oh. Drop. Brings in a big run. Moray could crank it 3 for 4. He's having a good day. Took the lead. And that might not do anything. Modern games still getting made for the Genesis. So yeah, my answer, I'm thinking now, and it's the system I have the most variety for, and it's not the one that I had when I was younger growing up. But yeah, I agree with you guys overall. Sega Genesis. It has a wide range of retro games. It got in early. It came out in '89. The games are so much cheaper than the Super Nintendo. I like me some Super Nintendo. That's what I grew up playing. But I was trying to buy my daughter the Power Rangers, the movie game, because I was showing her some Power Rangers. And and they're 2 different games, kind of. The movie game on Super Nintendo and on Genesis. But the Super Nintendo game's $60 and up. And on Genesis, it's 15. It's I wonder what system I'm going to buy this for. It's a fourth of the price. But I got some game lots in Genesis, so I think one of the bigger ones came with a Sega Nomad that I bought. That bunt was almost terrible. No, I'm talking about all genres, not just sports. But Genesis had some great sports games. I mean, there's no denying that. Even, some of the classics are on Genesis. And don't get me wrong, I love me some NES too, but those games based off gameplay, graphics, everything, sound compared to the cost of Genesis games, you might as well just get a Sega Genesis. And another thing I was thinking about, especially for someone younger just getting into games, the 3-button Genesis controller is really simple compared to the Super Nintendo, which has, the 4 face buttons and the back buttons. Which to more experienced gamer is really nothing, but it could be a little overwhelming to someone who's not familiar with video games. Get the win 3-2. EA supported Sega well through the Saturn, and then once the Saturn bombed, they really weren't feeling it anymore. I love the 64 for multiplayer gameplay. That's probably the best one for 4-player, I would say. even though the Dreamcast has the 4 player ports on the front. But the library is not as expansive as like a Sega Genesis or even a Super Nintendo. Yeah, EA made Road Rash. I mean, in the 90s, EA was cutting edge. They were taking chances. There was a lot of variety in what they did. It wasn't until like the late 2010, mid 2000s where they just started to be more business wise. I mean, they even were cutting edge on the PS2 Xbox era where they were doing EA Big, which was in Canada, making some awesome arcade-ish type games. I don't know those games, Troy. Sports games are cheap on most retro systems. S tier for Mutant League Football. I don't have any of the Mutant League games. Road Rash would play on PS4, PS5. GameCube had some hidden spot games like Blue Wave Racing. Yeah, the GameCube, man, it just came out at a weird time. Like, it was just... So the Dreamcast was awesome, honestly. It was the first game to come with the built-in... Griffey's player at the game. The built-in modem, so we could play online. The graphics were arcade graphics at home. So the Dreamcast is really what set it off. But a lot of people waited for the PS2 because it had that DVD player, and at the time the DVD players were pretty expensive. So the PS2 was another incredible system. So you had those two, and then the Xbox came out, which was Microsoft, which everyone already had. Microsoft Windows computers, so I had a lot of confidence in the system, and it was a powerhouse compared to the others. And then the Cube came out, which was still a powerful system, right up there with PS2 and Xbox. It was the last of those. So it just... If you had one of those 4 systems, I mean, you had an incredible game system in that era. And the games didn't come out for as long for the Dreamcast, but the GameCube probably has and the Xbox and the PS2. All 3 of those have like a huge library of good games with good graphics to explore. Adam wants me to play again. Yeah, the Dreamcast definitely beginning of perfect graphics arcade in your home. Yeah, I think so. Alright, I'm gonna get another one in. I got one more spotted cow. I'm gonna take a quick break. I'll be right back. I'm gonna show you some commercials. Sorry I don't change the order, but the way it goes. Be right back.
If I invented basketball, I'd get rid of the extra players. I make it 2-on-2, so I either have the ball or I'm getting the ball. And I get rid of some rules like no setting the ball on fire. And I do this because it's not my fault everyone's not 7-1.
Hey, play your game. NBA Showtime, NBA on NBC. It ain't no sim game.
And I make free throws with 3 points. Because free throws are tough.
The clock will continue to run. 4th down, seconds remaining. They're going to need to call a TO.
Yo, this is T.O.
Game Informer calls it the one football game you must have.
Yeah.
And IGN says it will own your soul. Get ESPN NFL 2K5 from ESPN Video Games.
Hey, how'd you get this number?
Rated E for everyone.
All the trading, all the stats, all the matchups, and if you're lucky, a chance to kiss Lord Stanley's cup. 84 game seasons, NHL 95.
How do you describe a playmaker?
How do you describe a playmaker?
Guy who's clutch. Who makes the big-time plays.
In big games, baby.
He pulls guys,
Knocks guys, rips guys out of their shoes.
bang, bang.
Boom!
The playmaker makes the catch over the middle.
He better not come across that middle.
Edge of your seat to your feet.
He gets the stadium to go off.
And the guy that I'm talking about?
He's an offensive guy.
He's a defensive guy.
Hey, Ray, talk to me on Monday. What you say, Michael?
Offense, baby.
Playmaker is a tank. Sports car.
A semi.
He rips it away when it matters.
Never, ever coughs it up.
He makes the big pass.
He bats it away. He makes the big run.
Big catch.
The big hit.
He makes the big kick.
What?
Kickers will speak when spoken to.
Introducing Playmaker Control, only in Madden NFL 2004, the official game of Playmakers. Rated E for everyone. EA Sports. It's in the game.
We wanted you to know what it feels like in a Major League box. Sega's new World Series Baseball. It's more like real life.
Hey, Ricky!
Oh.
Okay, Gretzky, it's just you and me. Let's see what you got.
Pass to Gretzky. Shoots! Score!
Lucky shot.
Score! Gretzky! What a hit! Boom! Gretzky's really making himself look bad tonight.
Grace checking? Come on! Didn't you see that? Throw him in the box!
Gretzky 98 3D hockey. As real as it gets without lacing up.
Saw that one. Gretzky's as flat as himself coming in over the blue line.
The Rock can't believe this little Rudy Pucciabroni has stolen all the Rock's signature moves.
He walks like the Rock. He talks like the Rock. He's got the rock bottom, the people's elbow, the people's eyebrow.
That's gimmick infringement.
That ain't right.
He's even got the millions and the millions of the Rock's fans playing this video game.
The Rock, know your role and shut your mouth.
Over 50 WWF superstars, all their signature moves and talks, plus entrances, cage matches, and create a wrestler. WrestleMania 2000.
You like pancakes?
THQ.
What is it, Iverson-san?
I'm getting worked under the boards, Taka.
Show rebound stance. Bamboo reed need deep root for strength.
Go, here it comes.
Where'd he learn that?
NBA 2K on Sega Dreamcast. It's
It's WCW NWO Revenge, only on Nintendo 64. Nintendo Power says WCW NWO action is bigger than ever. Fans will eat this one up. Featuring over 60 of WCW and NWO superstars with custom finishes and trademark moves. 4-player Battle Royal mode with double teaming and more weapons than ever before. Get addicted. Call 1-800-WCW-8661 to order now. Also available wherever video games are sold.
Revenge is just too sweet.
Now we do understand.
They're lining up. A lot of heavy machinery out there. Call the insurance company because we're about to do some property damage today.
Here comes the snap. Matthews back, rolling right. Can't find his man. Here comes the blitz. Simmons.
The one game that hits so hard, your mama's mama will feel it. NFL Blitz 2000 from Midway. New 4-player mode, customizable play editor, and more sledgehammer quality fun than ever.
Oh, mama, tuck me in. I'm ready to go. Night-night.
Jam.
Jam. Jam.
Jam.
idea how it was back in the Genesis days. We couldn't think, couldn't adjust. Look what you got. My receivers couldn't do that, and our defense sucked. You'll never get beat by the same whack play over and over. You better appreciate what you got, Junior. Hey, let me go.
I think Ojimbo got a hold of a bad taco.
Hey, I'm a legend.
NFL 2K on Sega Dreamcast. It's thinking.
NBA Street.
EA Sports. Big.
Rated E for everyone. You want to see how we do football? Keep your eye on this. This ain't just football. This is NFL Street. Rated E for everyone.
EA Sports.
Into the game. Get Tengen RBI Baseball. The only video game licensed by the Major League Baseball Players Association for your Nintendo. It's you and the pros. For Roger Clemens here. Flash Vince Coleman the steal sign. Let him swing for the fences. It's going! RBI Baseball. The one the pros pitch.
Minnesota Twins Brad Radke. Last season he struck out 75 batters and gave up 32 home runs. All new stats, all 28 ballparks. Sega Sports World Series Baseball 2. Authentic as Wrigley, real as Radke.
A long time ago, someone said...
Alright, that was longer than I thought. Went through pretty deep in the commercials there. Play some ball, get back to some Ken Griffey. Thanks for sticking around. I see Gridiron Masters here. Adriano says, Madden exclusive rights killed NFL football. It's college is coming back, so there's that. And COVID killed the Doug Flutie's Maximum Football. Well, those are some good commercials, you know. I put together a nice little series there. So it's hard to not want to see what the next one is. Especially those retro game commercials. I know I say this, but I'll have to make another one of these days. With some different ones. I'm sure there's probably like 100 or so out there. I think the one I have has maybe 20 to 25 or so. 30 maybe. The Orioles. I don't think I've played them yet. Baltimore Orioles, Seattle Mariners. Here we go. And then we'll check the standings after this one. Orioles did have some pretty good teams in the 90s. They were never consistently good like the Mariners or the White Sox, but they did have some good teams. I think it's 1995 or 96 is the season it's based on. And it looks like we're in Baltimore. Playing some ball here. Vinny Clayton. The speedster. Oh, there we go. No chance getting him out. Oh yeah, Brady Anderson, that 50 home run season. Maybe roided up, maybe not, who knows, but yeah, I remember that. Because in Triple Play 97, he was really good. Which would be based off the 96 season. And yeah, he had 50 home runs. Ooh, slid it in. I like it. Didn't look like my pitch to hit, though. That definitely wasn't it. Crappy swing. Ooh, just not enough height on it. Oh yeah, Braves had a ton of good teams without a lot of weird World Series titles. And well, we get to the fifth batter. It's time for Viper to step it up with a big jack. Get this game started right. Big pop and just not enough on it. What's up, Stutter and Stick? Kurt Van Dam. Horrible average. It's been a while, yeah. Between me not streaming as much and you not being on, it's good to see you back. But that's what we do over here. Play some retro sports games. It's definitely a niche for a great group of people. I'm doing pretty good. I'm doing pretty good, you know. Feeling good, drinking some Spotted Cow, having a good time playing this. Just getting them in when I can. And take care of the Orioles pretty easily there. Mark Wohler showed up for one season. That's the plan, Pat, because they're not giving me much else of a choice based off the boundaries I put up for myself. So yeah, I'm going to try to. Might have to do some medical exemption magic, some religious exemption magic, but we'll see what happens. Either way, I'm at peace with whatever happens. I'll find my way. I'm not going to be intimidated or fearful of the future based off everything going on. Because that's exactly what the powers that be would want. So we'll just see what happens. But yeah, I've been at home for over 16 months now. And that isolation has allowed me not to really talk to my employees as much. Sarandon hot dog. I don't know much about that, but I don't know all too well about Modelo's. I like to drink them with lime. Yeah, so they're telling you September 6th. So where I work, they're saying like at the beginning of August for some people, but we're doing some HVAC work in the building, so it was going to be extended till late September. But come on. They're already priming another lockdown. The lockdown is three things. It's three main things. It's wearing masks, which to others look like and are muzzles. Then there's lockdowns, which is removal to do business and do other things. And then there's the things they call vaccines, which are also inoculations, injections, jabs, whatever you want to call them. So they're just going to keep pushing these three things the next Like I said, we're already about a year and a half in. Another 3.5 years. Don't expect it to change much. Mentally, spiritually prepared for it. $500. So yeah, there's been a lot of bribery going on. That's a little higher than most I've seen. One of the worst deals I seen was I saw a billboard in Chicago for, oh man, one of the grocery stores that's not that prevalent here. I want to say it was Meyer, but I'm not 100% sure. It's like $10 if you get your COVID vax. You get $10. My work has some kind of lottery, which obviously I don't pay attention to. Oh, for sure. I mean, if you look at the brainwaves, what they're pushing with Delta, it's like the lowest deep sleep is Delta on the brainwaves. Look at like a brainwave chart. So there's definitely a correlation there. And they're telling you something about what they're doing based off what it's called. So don't continue to have a master. You don't have a master. You're your own sovereign being. So don't worry about it too much, because whatever someone else is telling you have to do, you don't have to do it. Yep. Definitely guinea pigs. We have a whole heck of a lot less to lose than like the NFL players who are being blackballed into it. Oh, screwed that up. At least financially, so. I didn't see a scheme like this coming. For the last 10 years, I've been researching, conspiracies, questioning things. And I saw a lot of incremental changes leading up to something. But I did not see a scheme pushing it, all of them at once, coming like they have in 2020 and up to the point we're at now. But I've been aware of what they're doing, so it's not like that. It's not hard for me to avoid what they're trying to get you to buy into. But still, it's a lot to deal with. And, that's why it's been called Operation Warp Speed in the U.S., because they hit people fast and hard before they know what the heck's going on. I mean, this is continuous. I mean, this is unbelievable. Like, even in 2001, with the towers going down, that had lasting effects, but it wasn't messing with you at every place you're going like it is now. Or has this last year. Right now it's been pretty open in the Chicagoland area, which has been good. But anyone who thinks they took a jab or a double jabber to get back to just doing things normally like we did before, without more in store, it's just not completely seeing what's going on. Like I said, you can find the resources for Rockefeller Operation Lockstep, Great Reset. Those World Economic Forum, those are some good places to start. They're not even hiding what they're doing, so you should just prepare for how you're going to adjust or weed yourself out of what they're doing systematically. Yeah, and it took a while for a lot of people to catch on what was going on with that, because I think kind of like we are now, well, some people are now, just blindsided by what's going on. The same way that I can see that it's all coordinated, others will say that it's more serious because of how widespread it is, and everyone's doing it, so let's just fall in line and help everyone out. So that's kind of the scheme. But when you know the people pulling the strings don't have your best interest in mind, you got to think about what they're planning to do, injecting stuff into you. PNAC was the plan to kick off the new century, so I'm not familiar with that acronym. Maybe I've heard about it, but I don't know what that is based off those 4 letters. You were in Chicago? Where do you normally stay at? I'm surprised there's people traveling for trainings now. Well, the old societal structure is gone. I've pretty much accepted that at this point. The last year, spent a lot of time talking to people, throwing stuff out there on the internet to get people to see it. Most of them did not see what's going on, so now I'm in the acceptance phase of where to go now and with who to go there with, because a lot of people are just going to comply to be part of the system moving forward. And that's really not an option for me. Oh, horrible hitting. Project for a New American Century talks about invading the Middle East to kick it off. They did a whole heck of a lot of that. So one of the signs you could look at that all the countries are coordinated together to do things is the Antarctic Treaty. Most of the countries are in on that one from the late 50s, that they basically will forbid the people from their countries to go there unless it's like a planned trip. So they could be in together with that. Also, like even what's going on now, the Olympics, like, oh, we could come together and do this sporting event, but somehow we gotta bomb each other and go to war over other things. So all of this is unfortunately scripted to make it seem like there's these battles going on. Well, it's just one group really taking over everything. Oh, man. They took the lead first. These kind of ideas are laid out in George Orwell's book from 1984, called 1984. I think it was written in the late 40s. But something you should definitely read, get familiar with. Also, There's a movie too, so if you want to take a shortcut. Also, Brave New World is a good one. Figure out what the heck's going on. Come on, Griff. Just knock one out of the park. You're usually good for one a game. What's up? Full Nelson Tecmo's here. Troy, and there's a bomb. That'll take the lead. That's a good question, Bradford. I don't know for sure what is going on there, but it just shows you that the countries are all in on it together in Antarctic Treaty, so they could agree on that. They bring all their countries together for the Olympics, but like I said, they gotta blow each other up in other ways. That was a big home run. So Troy, what are you doing up so late? Midnight? Are you serious? You made it up to this point? It's the weekend, yeah, it's Saturday night. That's for sure. The interesting thing from working from home is like I have barely, I don't want to say I've never set an alarm this whole time, but most days I have not set an alarm, which is nice to wake up naturally. It still is a major challenge to work from home and be expected to parent, even though you should be at the office working, concentrating on that, or at least just away from the house. And so that's been a mental adjustment. Here comes the second win from Troy GB land. Get that line drive. 5 minutes before I have to be logged on. I naturally wake up, and also the manager I have just has not cared or followed up about anytime anybody's working. So as long as you log in at some point and get the work done and nothing comes back like, hey, this, what's going on in this area? No one's doing that work. That hasn't been brought to my attention for ever since I've been back here. I think so too, James Bond. There's definitely land that we don't know about. There's no United Airlines flights to some lands, you know. I'm not talking like Epstein Island, those type of places, but you know. Of course, if you tell everyone this is the only lands that exist, and you want them to think that, believe that, and then there's more land to explore. It's a good scheme for them. There's definitely like a small crowd that knows more of the truth of actually what's going on, and then like we're just part of the class that doesn't know really what's going on. And if you figure out that they're lying to us, you just like trying to figure out what the hell they're lying about. The UFOs nonstop last month? Well, I think a lot of things of it, that's been something they've been building up since, I mean, my earliest knowledge of is Star Wars, but, you know, pushing alien invasion, lockdown, make people fearful of that type of stuff. I don't know, like, I've seen stuff flying in the sky, but it's never been, like, something alarming to me. Certainly, there's better ways to travel than jet airlines. I mean, helium is lighter than the air in the atmosphere, so if there was some type of helium hovercraft, I think that would be pretty easy to pull off. You know, you got the hot air balloons already. Yeah, that's like what George Carlin would say. There's a big club and you ain't in it. It's fine. I don't want to be in it with a bunch of posers and sellouts. This guy's tired. Only one out, base is loaded. This is going to be a tough one. Get Walt Matheson in. Yes. I've seen They Live. I got the movie right here. There he is. Roddy Piper. And it says, you think they're people just like you. You're wrong. Dead wrong. There's a lot going on with Roddy Piper, too. There's like an interview he's doing where he's basically trying to say that when he was young in the wrestling business, that Pat Patterson took advantage of him and screwed him. He actually says F'd him. And then there's another video that Shella Bay just showed me, like, because I showed him that video, and, like, they did a whole, like, segment on WWE Network or something. It was WWE approved, at least, where Pat Patterson comes out, and he's like, oh, I was in this business the whole time being gay. And it's like, wow, this is some type of messed up weirdo business. This wrestling thing. So, yeah, and Roddy Piper, he tweeted in 2015 saying that They Live is a documentary. Lived too much after that. I don't know if he's suicided or he's just, you know, wrestling gets the best of a lot of these guys. Oh, that was a big... Alright, Moray, he already has a homer today. See if we can come through with another one. This is the heart of the lineup. Oh, no. You're out. Pat Patterson Ring Boy Scandal? Is that what it's called? I didn't know it had a name, but... I've heard the rumors. I mean, I wouldn't even call them rumors. When you just analyze everything they're doing, that they would even put that out on the WWE network. And the sick thing about it is, like, in that WWE sanctioned clip, like Roddy Piper's sitting there at the table and he's just like making faces and he's just like, this is disgusting. So at least in that business, they know what they're part of. Do they really call her Rowdy Ronda Rousey? So my thing is the UFC is just an upgrade to WWF. Talking to my grandpa, he says that when TV first came out, right, wrestling was one of the first things on TV. And obviously at that time, brand new, people probably think it's more real. I wouldn't say until like the 80s or 90s people really even started talking about that. So UFC comes out in 1993. And then they just so happen to be on, getting some runs here. One of the most popular sitcoms, if not the most at the time, Friends, in 1994, where Monica's dating a guy that wants to fight in the Ultimate Fighting Championship. And they go as far to go all the way through it where they actually show him fighting in the ring. So they definitely had UFC planned to be a bigger thing in the system, the Roman circus. And it's clearly probably one of the most barbaric sports, if not the most. I know there's some of you that might really like UFC. I never bought into it. And just like WWF, I think there's definitely some fights that are fixed. But they do beat the crap out of each other. I'll give them that. There's some real fighting going on, but I just don't think that's what should draw the crowds and we should be entertained by.
You're up.
4-1, bottom of the 8th. Oh, crap. That's a user error right there. So Gridiron Master's talking about the UFOs. He said, I saw a silver light bulb craft once over the house I was working on. It would just stay there in place as the clouds moved. Could have been a balloon. I lost sight of it behind a cloud. Yeah, I mean, there's definitely stuff floating up there. There's really no accounts of people experiencing it. It's caught on footage. I hear a lot of people dreaming about it, having the experiences. It's hard to say. All the fights last 2 minutes, all that hype for a quick match. Yeah, I think so too. It's just, when I saw the hype was totally blown out of proportion was it wasn't even a UFC fight, but it was McGregor versus Mayweather for that boxing match. I'm like, wow, the promotion for this is just unreal. It's like, I don't even know if they're really going to fight. I didn't watch it, but it's like, of course, the guy who's undefeated boxer is going to beat the guy who's in UFC, who's not really just a boxer. Bare Knuckle Boxing League? I've never watched that. That's a little hit. And that's an extra base. Boxing better than UFC. Yeah, more technical. You got the gloves on. I remember it being big in the 90s. Never personally got into it, was too young. But it seemed like there was some more technicality to it. You know, speaking about some of these sports, I think there is more purity in some of them at some point, but they all get corrupted. Boxing has openly become WWE. Yeah, I think it's been like that for a while, though, right? Logan Paul versus Floyd, yeah. Brock Lesnar, yeah, that cross promotion between WWE and UFC. And, you know, I think those things are strategic. Also, CM Punk going to UFC, even though he only fought one. It's just like, oh, they need you to have that feeling. Oh, Alex is here. Beat It, the story of Pee Wee Herman. Wow. What is that about? I remember the show being on, but is it about him being a creeper, or is it just about what the show was? There's definitely some wild things on TVs in the 90s, as good as we were talking about it earlier. Bill Cosby versus Morgan Freeman. Oh, man. I never been to a UFC fight, but I did go to... I had a friend that actually went to my grade school who ended up fighting in those kind of octagon rings, and it was at a bar. Yeah, you know, sometimes I miss some things. But, yeah, it was intense. My friend Joe came with me. And it was my friend Sean Finnegan, actually. Well, I wouldn't say friend, because I don't really talk to him anymore, but he's an acquaintance. I went to grade school with him. And it seemed like he was trying to get people to go. And it sounded like he had free tickets, but then he ended up selling them to me, which is fine. I mean, he did throw himself out there. But me and my friend Joe went, and it was some serious fighting at that bar in that ring. I mean, it was for real. Four to 1. Didn't crank him out of the ballpark. Yeah, sometimes with Alex, you gotta watch out. He's got some things coming that I'm just not ready for. Reading what he's in the chat. Now that I reread what he's saying about Pee Wee Herman, I'm getting what he's saying. It was a threat. Like, hey, if you mess with me, my sons are gonna beat you up. And let's see who the player of the game is. Ray Ramirez. He had that big home run. Let's check the standings real quick. Oh, 15-5. Athletics won't go away, though. They're only 2 games back. Don't have to worry about the rest of the AL right now. I'm shocked the White Sox are 6-13. They got a good team. Royals on the top. Brewers. When were the Brewers in the AL Central? Is this something that I'm missing? Like, I don't remember this. Oh, they probably just threw him in there to have 5 teams instead of 6 in the NL Central. That's what I'm guessing what's happened. What is my take on sun gazing? I think it's for real. I haven't dug too deep into it. But just like the sun gives energy to plants, people, animals, you can take in the sunlight through your eyes. It's best done at sunrise or sunset. You could also do it through the trees. I know kind of how to do it, but do I practice it and do it? No, but it's good to know about, especially in times where you don't know how you're going to get your energy. Bottom line is we eat too much. I've heard of a guy drinking coconut water mostly. He owned a juice bar and he would sun gaze. Glow sticks, yeah, with this music. So the Astros and Marlins are looking good in the NL. Yeah, we did talk about that earlier. I think getting rid of Indians and Redskins is just to remove those teams, or thinking about those type of people from history. Not that they're offended by it. The Guardians, I mean, it's pretty generic to me. I don't know what it's supposed to mean. I haven't looked too much into it. But I think getting rid of the Indians and Redskins is just, let's not pay any homage to these people anymore. Just get rid of them. Yeah, I need to get back out in the sun more. It seems like I do it more when I'm away from being in Chicago, which is not what I should do. I should at least get out there an hour and a half a day. But you're right, Pat. You got to know your limits. Don't get out there and get toasty and burnt, or go for the sexy tan. Just go out there to absorb the energy, and then know your limits. Go back to shade. Go back in the house or whatever. All right, let's look at the stats. I wasn't really paying too much attention to what I was doing. Griffey still leading the league. Got a lot of guys up there. Vinny Clayton's now getting up there after I was sucking with him. Nice farmer stand. Might as well. Griffey and Moray Ramirez way up there. Three 4-hitters producing. I don't know if there's injuries in this game, which is fine with me. Statues on the Guardian bridges. I'm not sure what you're referring to with that. Are you guys trying to become mini bishops from Marvel Comics or what? Well, if that's something that happens in Marvel Comics, it's news to me, but I think they just try to reveal some truths within the media, comics. But it just goes to show you, there's different ways to live. you know, like we taught breakfast, lunch, dinner, and we're eating too much. Like I can admit, like one of my biggest problems is gluttony overall, with like overconsumption. You know, like the taste of the stuff. It's hard for me to refrain. But that's how, you know, you gotta live and you learn. Sunny D. I don't think that's giving you a piece of the sun. Just saying. Home runs, Griffey and Moray Ramirez, 16-11. Oh, the new names based off the bridge and the statues. Eating crack constantly. Yeah, you're not wrong about that. I mean, if you don't know the actual source of your food, it's hard to know how you would naturally feel not eating all of it all the time. Griffey with some doubles. A lot of hits on this team. That's good to see. Paper 31 hits, but still no big home runs. No sugar bread for you. Man, that's a good way to go about it. I need to get on that level. I know that's like the next ascension for me, is like really having the discipline in those areas. Yeah, a lot of bad grains we're eating. Oh yeah, food's gonna keep rising in price. But the thing is, like, you just need it. Like, it's more about training your body to consume less. Which I didn't have one of those days today, which is probably why I streamed, because I had some brewskis. But yeah, I do IF fasting, intermittent fasting every day too. Yep, that will help out. Give your body time to recover. I think that's the way to go about it. You probably don't, I mean, you don't even need to eat every day, honestly, but if you're gonna eat, might as well give it a little body a little break. The path from farm to your table has many sketchy twists and turns. Sun chips, no, that's a good marketing scheme. Not healthy. What? Oh, longest you did was 72 hours. So we got some people who fasted. I think I went like 3 days, but I wasn't like fasting. I was still having lemon, cayenne pepper. It was lemon juice, cayenne pepper. And I think maybe that was it. For 3 days. Felt pretty good. That's one of the detoxes out there. Gotti Jr. says, I eat McDonald's every single day for 3 years now. I have breakfast and dinner there, and I'm fine. sounds like he's doing the Super Size Me documentary. Oh, come on. Government's there to govern your mind and get you to do the worst things for yourself. Alex has been fatting, not fasting. Oh, man. But yeah, I mean, it's just like you just continually put toxic food or whatever, drinks in your body. Eventually your body starts responding. Bradford said, I had a friend that used to brag about eating McDonald's every single day. He had a heart attack. He lived, but he doesn't eat McDonald's every day anymore. They're not dropping out of the sky. And unfortunately, people are trying to do good for themselves. In a lot of situations, just don't realize the harmful chemicals that have been put into their food through either the processing of it or, you know, the government just allows it. $5'9", 165 pounds. I know some people who have some odd metabolism. Just because you're not fat doesn't mean that like the insides of your body are good. Like they'll get rid of stuff. I knew like my one friend, he was skinny, athletic though. But he would drink like, he said like 8 Pepsis a day while he's like making pizzas. And he was skinny as a twig, but I haven't followed up with him lately. I don't know how he's looking these days, but he could get away with that. Eight Pepsis while on a shift of making pizzas. So he's probably like late teens, early 20s doing that. Which that's the time you're going to be able to get away with it. But still. Yeah, then you go in the deodorants, the aluminum. Just like what? It's not like they're putting all these chemicals in there to be helpful and just get the job done. There's like, oh, this product's gonna get the job done for you, but we also got to add these harmful ingredients in there for you too. The double-edged sword. Taco Bell after the stream and go to bed. Yeah, Taco Bell, I wouldn't give it an approval at any time. Yeah, I know, yeah. GMOs banned in the UK, places in Europe. The US is good to go. Yeah, pack is probably a little bit too much. I mean, I wouldn't try to go too hard off of it initially. Probably spread them out at first. Then make it to where you barely even want one. Taco Bell's the healthiest fast food. I don't know about that supposedly. I think Subway's got some real GMO stuff there, but you could probably come up with something healthier than what's at Taco Bell. Yeah, then there's no reason, like the whole thing for fluoride's like, oh, it's good for your teeth. Well, that's superficial, you know, even if it was good for your teeth. It's like it's doing harm inside my body, to my brain, to my pineal gland. Like, why would I continue to consume this? You weren't in a constant stream of smoke, you cut down. No, and it's unfortunate, like the society, like that's what really irks me, is that all of these unbelievable tools that we have at our disposal could be used for good, and they're being used to degrade people and take advantage of unsuspecting people that would never think that this system would put something harmful in their foods or their products to hurt them intentionally, when it doesn't have to happen. We could do everything that's the best for people the way we know how, and we could sell those products, and we could use the media and TV and the government for good. But government, I just don't think we even need it all, so I won't even say government. But the media, we could use it for good, but instead we're using it to fearmonger people, enslave them, make them make horrible choices for themselves. And that's where we're at. Yeah, soda consumption's not good. Yeah, there's a potential to actually help everyone, and yet intelligently with the audience over rave music. Well, it will be a weekly segment until I finish the season. Gotti Jr. is just pushing that McDonald's hard. Well, honestly, whatever your body's used to, that's what it's gonna like. So, if you try to eat something healthy after pounding McDonald's all the time, it's not gonna feel good for a while. Maybe not even just a few days, like a few weeks, and then your body's gonna make the adjustment. Diet soda's horrible. Phenylalanine, which is what's in diet soda, if you look at the chemical breakdown, there's fecal matter in the chemical soda, and that fecal matter means there's poop in it. Chemicals. No, I think. See, that's a tough one for me, because I've been eating vegan for like 9 years, and then now I'm eating vegetarian, and it's because of what you're talking about. Like, they're making machine like meat food with stuff that some of it's not good for you at all. Like Impossible Meat tells you it's just GMO soy, and that's just what they're telling you is in it. That's not good for you at all. And they're pushing it further, trying to get people to get on board with eating bugs, just because yeah, they don't want you don't get the good stuff anymore. It's like Soylent Green. Yeah, I brought that up probably the last stream, I think, or 2 streams ago. You don't know what's in it. Just like on the Soylent Green cover, it says 2022. Who knows what's in there? You don't know. You really don't know. They could say what if you see the system of lies that we're part of, like just reading the ingredients on the packages is just definitely not always good enough. I like Gotti Jr.'s positive outlook. I don't think companies are trying to hurt us. I know McDonald's isn't. Like I said, I haven't ate meat in over 10 years. I don't see the need for it. I haven't felt the need for it. It's definitely not a peaceful way to eat. It's all right. I like someone's got to keep us on our toes. Saying I love Mickey D's. And there might be, hey, you know, when I was out there playing these games back when they were coming out, I was eating ballpark hot dogs, McDonald's, Wendy's. That was the big thing when you used to play PS2. You have people over, we play some SmackDown. Here comes the pain. And we would go for either sloppity slops or slops. And sloppity slops were McDonald's and slops were Wendy's. So we knew that it was sloppy, but they were the cheapest places and they tasted good. We didn't have a lot of money. Yeah, over 10 years. It just goes to challenge the system. Like they're telling you you need this and you don't need it. They're lying. McDonald's fries are still good to go and stuck in the couch for months. Yeah, they got the preservatives to make it happen for you. Yeah, so that's just one way of me challenging the system. Like the food pyramid you grow up with in your indoctrination camps, schools telling you about how you should eat and the best way to do it. And you're like, oh, well, I'm not going to do it that way at all. Let's see if I could still live and maintain. Oh, I'm fine. And eating more peacefully. So what do you got to say about that? So many lies. So many lies. If I find a fry under the car seat, I'm eating it. Oh yeah, Dwayne's got his SmackDown Here Comes the Pain story. That's what I like to hear. Pizza Hut New Yorker pizza. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that. Chicago's got a lot of good pizza places. And I'm not saying they're quality ingredients, but they're higher quality than like a Pizza Hut or Domino's. For sure. They got their own recipes. Gotti Jr.'s crying. He's like, please, I just love McDonald's. Quit bashing. Alright, well, I think that's going to do it for tonight. We had a good talk after these two games. But it looks like we're heading in the right direction with the Mariners. Coronaries? What do you mean by that? Wait for Alex's response. That Little Caesars hot and ready for $5. I haven't been to Detroit enough to know if they have great pizza. So, yeah, longest you chatted for sure, James Bond. Alright, that's gonna do it. We'll be back on again. I'll be playing this game. Finishing up this season. Got think 8 more games left. So thanks for watching. We'll be back soon with some more retro sports games and some talk that people might enjoy. Well, we gotta dig a little deeper on the Alex comments sometimes. You know, if you were saying it like either on a video stream, the video scope, yeah, or in person, it would probably come across different. Constructive dialogue. All right, we'll see you guys later. Thanks for coming in and chatting. We'll see you guys next time. Take care. Have a good one. Deep dish is heavy. I agree. Yeah. 2 pieces and you're done. Oh, coronaries, heart attacks. Gotcha. But I knew that was a thing, but given the era we're in with anything when you see corona as part of the word, I thought maybe you were making fun of something. Like corona people or so. That's just where I was at with that. All right, we'll see you guys later. Take care. Have a good one.